Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just a second.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we really need this class so much.
I do understand.
Personally, I need it. I really need it so
Uh-huh.
much. I'm expecting much from you, and with a lot of attention. So I don't know whether you are comfortable with this time so that we be meeting every time. This is going to be a lot for me.
Yes, yes, I'll try my best. And for this time, actually, this is my office timing, and I just hope that nothing is going to be important so that I can take this class.
Yes, we are sure you will make it. See, even the doctors will not be that much particular, but they are going to be engaged and they are okay with that. Yes. So we hope that they will just work for you to be sure of that. And in case of anything, let us understand or keep us updated.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give you necessary support. Yes.
All right, thank you.
All right.
So,
That's all.
SQL. Okay. So, just in the case of C++, we have learned, and we have learned that C++ is what? A programming language, right?
Yes.
A programming language. And we already have learned what a programming language means and what all about this, right? Now, what is SQL?
Yes.
What is SQL? Before understanding this SQL
Yes.
is a query language. Query language,
Yes.
and the full form of this, structured query
It's
language.
a query language. Yes.
But this was not the name it has given before. The name given before to this SQL is something like structured English query language.
Okay.
English query language. But later, when it found that this name is already copyright for some other company, then this English word is dropped, and now this structure query language is the full form of this SQL. That's why we pronunciate this as individual character as Q and L, or else we can say SQL language. Why SQL? Because here we have structured English query language. So we can also see it as
Okay.
SQL language. Okay? But
Okay.
but before all of that, why do we need a query language and what a query language is all about? So in the case of programming language, we have learned that if I want to connect with computer and I want to perform a task by using my computer, I need to give instructions to the computer, right? So that's why we use programming language. To talk with our computer, we need this type of language needed, just like C++, C, Java, other programming languages. But query language is something different than the programming language. Whereas where in programming language we give the instructions to the computer how to perform a task, right? Suppose I need to add two numbers, right? So I will write a function add, and in this I will take variables, and I will just say sum is equals to a plus b, right? And they'll just return the
Yes.
sum. So this is what we have done in C++. If we want to perform any task, I need to give the computer some instructions that how you can perform, and here you means computer, how computer need to go step by step. Computer doesn't know anything, computer is a dumb, computer doesn't know anything, they just follow our instructions, right?
Yes.
So this is what we have learned in programming language. So in programming language, we need to specify, we need to give instructions to the computer how and what the computer need to perform step by step, right?
Yes, please.
But query language is something different. Query language is something different. In query language, we doesn't specify how to perform. Rather, we define what to perform. Let's say this is a person and this is another person. He is an intelligent guy and he is not intelligent as he is. So you can say he is dumb. So in query language, intelligent guy, let's say I want to buy a pen. Right? So for this dumb person who doesn't know anything will ask me the instructions to give, please give me the instructions how and where to buy a pen and what is buy, what color you need, all of those stuffs, right? So he will ask each and everything. But he is an intelligent guy. If I will tell him just go to the shop and bring me a pen, so he will decided, okay, so you want pen, right? He will just ask some clarification, which type of pen you need and which color you want. So these type of instructions he will ask, this type of question he will ask, and he just go to the shop and bring a pen for me. But this guy is a dumb, he doesn't know anything. He will just, I will just tell him each and everything step by step, which pen you want, which color I want, which shape I want, and where you need to go to buy a pen, and there you need to give some rupees to the shopkeeper, then the shopkeeper will give you. So all the instructions, each and every instruction, right? Each and every instruction I need to give him. So this is what we does in our programming language, right? So how to perform, what to perform, all I need to define there in programming language. But in query language we just need to define, or we just need to tell what we want, not how we want. Let's say I want to add two numbers, so I will just simply say please add 3 and 4. I'll just ask this query language to please add 3 and 4, so he will just return, or it will just return 7. But in programming language we cannot say something like this. We need to give the instructions. Okay, so I will give two numbers, then you need to add those numbers and then just return the sum of that number. So I need to give instructions to the programming language. But in query language we just need to define, or we just need to tell what we want. So we can think of this as the query language is much brilliant or intelligent than our programming language, right? Because in our programming language we need to give instructions step by step, but in our query language we just need to consider what we want, not how we want, what we want. And here how we can perform or how we can calculate, something like this, each and every instructions. So this is what a query language. Here we just need to consider what we want. I just need to tell him or tell this query language, okay, I want to sum of two numbers. So it will just give this function sum, and whatever the value you can put there. So it will just return 7. So in query language we already have everything defined. We just need to consider what we want, not how.
Okay.
It will be more clear.
When is that one defined? Is it by default?
No, not it is default. Let me explain. There is a term DBMS. database management system. This is a tool actually. We are going to use MS SQL, Microsoft SQL version 2019 I have, so you can download the same. So this is actually a tool, and in this tool there will be a query window. What is query? Again, I will define it later, but there is a query window, and in this query window we need to define and we need to write the instructions what we want. And this is the responsibility of this tool, that how it is going to perform that task. Let's say I want to multiply two numbers, so I will just write down the query to multiply two numbers, and this is the responsibility of this tool to calculate those numbers and return the result. So this is the DBMS. Okay, all right. So, but before, again, one more thing. Data and different database, these two terms need to be defined here. What is data? Let's say I am a girl, and in my case, what are the details, or what are the data which is can be associated with me? Let's say my name will be my one of data. What is my age? Where do I live? What I study? What do I do? Right? So these are the things which is associated with me. So these are called data, right? Which is related to me. So in the same way, let's say we are living in a data age, right? Just say take an example of Google. So Google is taking our data each and every second, right? Where do we go? What the type of data we search regularly? What we like? What we don't like? What are we more interested in? So these are the kind of data which Google stores each and every second of ours, right? On the basis of that, the search window pop up some predefined messages, right? Options. So data is basically something which is all around us, and database is basically to store our data. This is a technique to use to store our data. Let's say in when database, previously we do not have this database, right? So how do we store our data? In file format. We still use this one, but for our only, I mean, we just only use for personal or some small task, right? Suppose I have billions of data in my laptop, so that cannot be possible to store this in my laptop anymore, right? So in that case I need to use this database. So in for personal use we use this file format, where we have different folders created with different name, different locations, different type of folders are there. Some are zip, so that more number of data can be stored there. So this is the data, this is the folders where we store our data, right? But there are some disadvantage of using this. Disadvantage, it is still in use, but for large amount of data it is cannot be considered anymore. Let's say I have a school, and in my school if we have only 15 students, then it is easy to manage these student data with this file format. But let's say I have 15,000 students are there in my school, then it would be a quite complicated task to manage these data of students in file format, right? what the students have learned in class 1, then class 2, then class 3, 4, 5. And let's say Samir 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 is studying in class 1, then it moved to class 2 and then class 3. So I need to store the data each and everything in our file. So you can think of this, or you can imagine how it will be complicated for us to manage these kind of files for 15,000 students. So it will be quite complicated and next to impossible for us, right? So that's where database come into picture. What exactly a database is? To store our data. There are different models to store our data. The most used one is relational database management system. We are going to have a detail for this, but I'm just giving some explanation. Management system, RDBMS. In this RDBMS database management system, what we actually do, we keep our records in a tabular format. Let's say again, take the example of a school. So in our school, what the objects will be, we have some students, right? We will have some teachers will be there. We will have some other staffs, right? And we have different students with different class, right? So these are the objects which is present in my school. So what I will do, actually I will create different table. What is table? Rows and columns. So let's say I will create object, this is our first object, student. So I will create a student table. In this student table, I will keep record each and every student which are studying in my school. Let's say user student is Khushbu Kumari. So I will take name of the student, then what the age of the student is, what the address is, and in which class do Khushbu read. So these are kind of data we are going to store of students, each and every students, in the form of table. So different tables will be there for different purpose. If we want to store if they want to store the details of a student, I will create a student table. If you want to store the details of teacher, I will create a separate table for teacher. Just is same as the case of function. If we have different tasks to perform, I'll create different functions. In the same way, if we have different objects, different purpose, then I'll create different table for different purposes. So collection of all these tables is termed as database. So in our database, we can have a single table or can be multiple tables will be there. So the group of the tables is termed as database. Alright, and what is this SQL now? So we have learned that SQL is a query language, and suppose I have 5 tables for different purpose. So let's say I want to look how many students are there in my total in my school. So I will just write a query. And what is query? What we want. So what we want, we will just write down in English familiar language. This is termed as query. So I will just write down what I want. So let's say I want total number of students. This is not the right way to write down this the query, but we are going to learn about the exact query later. So what it will does, it will just query language goes to dbms, the tool which we have learned about. So this tool is, so the tool will take this input, the query, and perform some operations and just come out with the result and show the result. Okay, so this is totally on tool, that how it is going to calculate, how it is going to show the list. So the SQL query is just to say the tool what we want. SQL is language, or you can say query language, which help us to write what we want. Okay, just in the case of English language, let's say you want to write a story on a boy, then how you are going to write? You need some language, so you are taking English as a language, and you have some grammar rules, so you need to follow these grammar rules, right? So in the same way, SQL is a language to tell the to tell this database, this tool, what you want. It cannot understand our English, easy English language. Let I want total number of student. So in English we can write something like this, right? But in SQL we need to learn this, how we can write this same in SQL. Only then the tool can convert the, calculate the input and then give this the output. So we are going to learn this language. Okay, all right. So now we have just learned that what SQL is. SQL is a query language which just define what we want, which help us to tell the tool that what we want. Now what SQL can do? SQL can do different tasks like execute queries against a database. Let's say I have a student table and I want details of a particular student. So this SQL language, with the help of this SQL language, I can execute queries. I can tell the tell the tool that hey, I want details of students. So this is the English language, but we are going to see that how we can write the same English language into SQL, so that this tool can understand and give us the output. So SQL can execute queries, and queries can be of different types. Okay, and SQL can retrieve data from a database. So we have learned that database is something where we can store our data. So if we just store the data, and if there is no use of that data, so that data will be unnecessary, right? Let's say if I have a data table, if I have a database which I cannot access, or which I cannot see the result of the data, so this will be unnecessary for me. If I do not cannot use this one, that why will I create this one? So SQL is also used to retrieve data, meaning fetching the data. Just like in our previous case, we have fetched the details of a particular student or all of the students. So this is what we can retrieve data from our database. SQL can insert records in a database. Let's say if in my school there is one boy came to study, so I need to store the details of this student as well, right? So we need to insert the data inside this table called student table. So with the help of SQL language, I can also insert data into database. Update this guy is reading in class 8, but after 1 year he goes to class 9. So I need to update the data, right? So we can also update records. What is record? We are going to see all of them one by one, but for now you can think of this. If we are using the file system, and let's say one more user has come to our school, I need to create a separate file for that student, right? In the same way, if new student has come to my class and my school, I need to create details of this students. So what is your name, where do you live, in which class do you read? So all of that details I need to maintain. So I can insert the data in the database or update the data in the database only by using which language? SQL language. We can do all of these using SQL language. Okay. All right. Now what SQL can do? It can delete records. Let's say my school is 1 to up to 10 class only, or let's say one user has now completed his course. So I don't need the details of this student anymore. So I can just delete the records, right? So SQL can help us to delete the records of a database. SQL can create new database. Let's say this is my school database. Now I also run a institute, a private institute. So for that I also have some set of objects, like what the courses I provide, what the students can roll in, who can register, all of that data. So I will create a separate data for my institute, right? So SQL can also help us to create new database, create new table in a database. So I already have explained that database is a collection of tables, right? So SQL can also be used to create one more table. Let's say for now I do not have any teacher. I am the only one to teach in my institute. But for later time I someone else has joined me as a teacher. So I need to have a separate table called teacher to store the details of teacher, right? So I will create a separate table for that. And SQL can create a store procedure in SQL database. What are store procedure? We are going to look into this, but for now you can just skip this one. And the last thing is SQL is used to set permissions. Let's say I run a company, okay, and my company name is XYZ. Okay, so in my company there are so many different people working here in different designations. Someone is manager, someone is employee, someone under this employee, right? So I need to give permission each and everyone according to their designation, right? For the manager post he can access all my documents, private documents of company, all of that data. But for an employee such kind of permission is not required, right? So I need to have different kind of permission for different employee. So this is what we can set in our database as well. Let's say for manager post, the manager can create, delete, update or insert data, right? But for a employee, he can only retrieve the data. So we need to have some kind of situations where we can set different permissions for different users. So we can do this as well with the help of our SQL language. All right, so we have just learned what is SQL, what is query language. Okay, a little bit of DBMS. We are going to explain this in more detail. RDBMS. So these are the kind of things, just short explanation. Now the topics we are going to cover in this course. So we are going to learn what is database, what is SQL. We have just learned a little bit of that, but in theoretical as well as in practical we need to see both of them. We need to go database design. Let's say I run an institute or a school there, and I need to have a database, but a proper database is mandatory form, right? If let's say I have a student table, and in that student table we have some columns or some rows, right? But not in a correct format, or in a redundancy of data will be there, just like in the case of file management. Let's say I run a school using file system. Then what the task and what the redundancy I will apply. Let's say I have a student folder in which I store the details of students. Let's say I have a class folder in which I will different class folder for different class students. Let's say in our student table I will store all the details of a student from 1 to 10, but in our separate class 1, class 2, class 3, I need to again store the same information of these students who is reading in class 1, then class 2, class 3. So we have the same data but in different folders. So this is a kind of redundancy, right? We have same data in different locations. So these kind of things can also happen in our database. So it is our responsibility to design a database in such a way so that we can normalize these kind of things. Okay, so we are going to have a separate sessions for design tutorial, what the things you need to consider before designing a table, what the keys will be there, what are the normalization format, what data you can skip, what tables you required, all that kind of things we are going to have a look. And just in the case of we have learned about flow chart in C++, we are going to see a ER modeling in this SQL. So before creating any database we create this ER model. Just in the case of programming language, before writing any program we create our flowchart and algorithm, right? In the same way, before designing any database we need to create this ER modeling, so that it will be more clear to us that is there any issue or is there any problem with this design or not. Then we are going to have a SQL basics. So how to create a table, what is select statement, where clause, insert query, how to insert a data in the table. So we need to have a different statement or different syntax, you can say, to how to insert a query, delete query, update query. For different purpose we have different syntax, you can say, right? So if I want to insert a data I need to use this insert keyword. And what a keyword is I already have explained. Keyword is something which is reserved word. So we have different keywords for different tasks. Then we are going to have sorting data. Let's say I have 1,000 of student details in tabular format, something like this. Student name Khushbu Kumari, then address is India, Resu Kumari, and the address is Pakistan, and something like that. I have 1,000 of datas. Okay, so if in case I want to filter only those data which live in India, right? Or I want to see which has higher age. Let's say I am 29, someone is 28, someone is 35. So which which student is of high age. So these kind of things I can filter using this order by, group by, wildcards. So we are going to have a separate sessions for all of these one by one. Then what are the functions? In programming language we have created add functions, right? So in the same way, for different purpose we have different functions, which of string, numeric, user defined, and aggregate functions for sum, average. These are the functions we can use to calculate count, distinct. So we are going to have a separate session for each one of them. And at last we are going to cover these topics: what is subquery, what is join, it is the most important topic which we are going to cover, important, and this is regularly in use. What are union, views, indexes, and there are much more. So we are going to have a separate session for each one of them one by one. All right, so this is just a brief introduction of SQL. I hope it seems to be excited to learn this SQL.
Surely it is very exciting. Yeah. Okay.
So I would just would like to know, why do you guys want to learn SQL?
Me, ma'am, I just want to learn something new and probably be creating my own program in the next few months.
All right. And what about you, James?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay. On my case, I told you I want to be a professional programmer.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know how I will be fetching my records from database. Just to explain and display them
All
in a
right.
real life situation. Just to like you're explaining like you have a school, then you want to like design a system which will help you manage ABCD. So you
So
want
you
to know
you
like
want to both perform the same, both the task, right? Creating your own program and designing your own database, both of them.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So you can be think of this as a full stack developer who can do both of the tasks at the same time. All right.